What's going on, everybody? MC Andrew Love back on your screen and your speakers one more time. And welcome to another edition of Let's Chat and Jam. In this episode, I speak to a sister out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Her name, Mwgli. Check out this interview we did right now. What's going on, everybody? MC Andrew Love back on your screen and your speakers one more time with another edition of Let's Chat and Jam. In this episode, I have a special guest by way of, she's in Greece at the moment, but she's from Minneapolis. And this lady here is really good at what she does. I'm talking about, she sings like Sade, folks. A triple language speaking artist. She's so dope. I can't wait for you to meet her. So without further ado, let me bring in Mwgli.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on Let's Chat and Jam.
Well, thank you so much for coming through to Let's Chat and Jam, man, because I'm telling you something. When I first heard your music, I was floored. Your music,
Yay!
your vocals penetrated my spirit. It takes a lot of work to do that, and you succeeded. Mwgli, you are dope, for real.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm digging the vibes. Everybody else, y'all will dig the vibes too. All you got to do is tap in. And the cool thing about Mwgli is it's easy to spell her name. Mwgli. And she'll pop right up. And you got to go to all the platforms. You go to Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Pandora, Deezer, iHeartRadio. My favorite place. I'm telling you, Mwgli is on all the streaming platforms. Because when there's streaming going on, Mwgli is in the middle of it.
That's right.
When did you realize you had a passion for the music?
Well, I would say probably when I was 16 or 17 years old. My friends and I started a garage band in high school. At that time, we were playing like indie rock, and I was lead singer. And we had a lot of fun with it, just playing a couple small local shows, spending every day making music together. And I think just the process of making music, it felt so good. And it felt so good to share it and to watch how it cheered other people up and how it affected their emotions. From right then and there, I was hooked. I knew that I was going to make music my whole life in one way or another.
Well, I'm so glad that's what you decided to do, because you're good at it, very good at it. And folks, I'm telling you something. When you press play on Mwgli, this is what you're going to say. Damn, MC Angela, you did it again. You done told me to go find Mwgli and go tap in. So we did. And guess what? She's dope. You're dang right she's dope. So tap in. Who are your greatest influences?
Ooh, my greatest influences. I would have to say number one is Selena Gomez. I grew up listening to her, obviously watching her on Wizards of Waverly Place. And I just love the way that she carries herself. I love the way that she makes music in multiple languages. And I think she's a great example for all women when it comes to creating your own art from an intimate place and making it relatable. Camila Cabello, Dua Lipa, just pop artists in general, I would say. Justin Bieber, a lot of artists who I feel like they talk about their emotions and they talk about relationships they've been in, and they're really open. And this kind of inspires me to take my own life and write about it.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned those artists, because they are heavy hitters in the game. And they've made a difference in a lot of other people's lives.
Yeah.
When you're not in the studio creating music, what do you do?
So I'm currently getting my master's in counseling. I have always been interested in working in the mental health field, so I'd like to keep doing that. I feel like music is a type of therapy, and so it goes hand in hand with my job. I also am a model. I work with Wayman Agency and I work with the Port Agency in Minneapolis. So I do everything from commercials to music videos, fashion, brands, all sorts of stuff. And then I also work for a nonprofit organization called the American Montessori Society. And it's a organization that helps teachers get accredited in Montessori, which is a hands-on type of learning. And I think it really supports music and the creative arts and anything that's hands-on and that you can learn by doing, which is something I definitely believe in. Like, if you love music, give it a shot. Who knows? Maybe you'll get a deeper appreciation for it, and maybe you'll have some fun.
Well, I just want to say I appreciate what you do, Mowgli. And I got to say thank you. As a fan of music and as a fan of good music and quality music, which you have, I must say thank you because you're representing. But I also want to say, I'm not a female, but thank you for representing women the right way. You know, because you got your clothes on. That's all that matters to me. It's none of my business what a woman looks like underneath her clothes. I don't care. I got a wife. I'm happy. So that's why I'm saying thank you for being the best you can be and for striving for perfection. Because there's nothing wrong with taking your time on a song. You don't have to feel bad because you haven't released the song as fast as your counterparts. It doesn't matter because what you're doing is you're making gems. You're making timeless music that people can listen to forever. So when you're gone, your songs will still live on. That's what the legacy is you're leaving behind, is your music, which is a time capsule. So yes, you can still take your time and be a force to be reckoned with in the industry. Take your time. Some of the best artists have taken their time with making classic albums, like Michael Jackson would take his time. Janet Jackson takes her time. No great artist will force a project. And when you do, you got a project like Glitter. Remember that? Mariah Carey? She got that song, that album was terrible. And she knows it because she rushed it. It wasn't what she usually does. But you, on the other hand, are taking your time because you're giving us music that is amazing. Speaking of amazing, there's a song that you did called Colombiana. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, Colombiana is a song about my relationship with drug abuse. It's something that I struggled with when I was a teenager, and I was under a lot of stress and kind of feeling that urge come back. And so I wrote about my addiction as if it were a woman that I was in a relationship with, a toxic or a deadly relationship. And I wrote about her as Colombiana. I myself am Colombian. I was born in Bogota, Colombia. So in a way, it was also exploring my roots and where I come from, which is why the song is completely in Spanish. Sometimes I just get into this mode, this emotion, and the words just come pouring out of me. I've sat there and I've tried to write songs for like 6 hours and made absolutely no progress. And other times I'll go into the studio and the music will just pour out of me and I'll know exactly what I want to say. And on the particular day when Colombiana was recorded, I was just having a hard time. I was stressed and I was kind of feeling my old urges come back, which I had worked really hard to overcome and worked really hard on my own mental health, which is something I think that everybody should prioritize and not be ashamed of when they're struggling with it. And so writing this song was a way for me to cope with that. And once I tapped into that emotion, like I said, the song just poured out of me. And that's how Colombiana happened.
Well, thank you for bringing your life into the music. Like, I don't speak Spanish. I speak very little, un poquito. But when I listen to it, I get mesmerized. And because the way you attack this vocal, it really hit my soul because I could feel the pain in your words. And I could feel the emotion in the way you maneuver through the song. It meant a lot to you. And that's why it came out so well. So folks, you could tap into all these songs, every song that you can hear from Mowgli on every major platform. As I said earlier, but Loom is where you really want to go because you can hear stuff from Mowgli that you may not hear everywhere else. So if you're on Loom, you could go to loom.fm on your laptop or Loom on your Apple devices as well as your Android devices and download those apps. And you can actually tap into Mowgli just by spelling her name out, Mwgli, and she'll pop right up. So without further ado, I'm going to play a snippet of the song Colombiana, which you can find at number 15 on the Let's Chat and Jam playlist. Yo, this is Mwgli, y'all. This is Mwgli. You gotta tap in. Woo! Man, yo, you want to hear the rest of this, you know what you gotta do. You gotta go tap into Spotify, Loom, and every other streaming platform. Because as I said, whatever they're streaming going on, Mwgli is in the middle of it. Tell us some of your experiences you've had since you've been creating music.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've gotten to play live shows, which has been amazing. Watching how my music can influence people live. I've been able to work with some of the artists that I really admire in the local scene. I started recording music. I recorded my first album in Milwaukee, and then I moved closer to Minneapolis. So it was really cool being able to work in two different music scenes. And right now I'm a part of a lot of really cool projects that haven't come out yet, music videos, albums, different collaborative songs, and yeah, just working on all of those. So the best is yet to come.
And I'm looking forward to when you drop those videos and new music, because, man, what you have put out so far is mind-blowing to me. So I'm looking forward to what you come out with again, because as you said, you are a perfectionist, and every song that you make is better than the song before. And I'm digging the vibes. Can you tell me what is your process when it comes to creating a song?
Right. I think my process starts with the producer. I've been really lucky to work with some of the best producers in Minneapolis. Right now I'm working with Andrew Thomas. I've worked with ATR. I've worked with all sorts of people. And the number one thing I'd say is that just finding that connection with the producer. I like to make beats from scratch. So being able to sit in the studio, talk about an idea for a song, some sort of vibe, come up with a melody, and building it in piece by piece. That's my favorite way to make music, because then you can tailor every single instrument to your vocals, to your lyrics, to whatever like song structure you want. And it's a really intimate moment. So I like to start out with that, with the beat, and then move into writing and creating melodies. A lot of times I'll, ask whoever's in the room, because when you're hanging out in a studio all day, people come in and out all the time, right? Asking about their mixes or their music or what have you. And so that's a really cool opportunity to get other artists' opinions on your songs. So I usually try to ask whoever else is in the room, like, what their opinion is, because I feel like everyone's opinion when it comes to music has some kernel of truth in it. My music might not be for everybody, but my fellow artists can usually tell what quality sounds like, what radio-ready music sounds like. So I usually will get advice from them. I write my music by hand in notebooks, and a lot of times I'll bring my diary to the studio, and I'll look at journal entries or pictures that I've drawn and try to really pull my most intimate experiences out for that song so that it can be really authentic and connect with people. And then there's the whole process, the fun process of doing like the promotional material and the photo shoots and figuring out the outfits and music video ideas. And it's just it's a long process, but it's so much fun. And by the time it's done, I've probably heard the song 400, 500 times. And that's the frustrating part, I think, for artists, is like, by the time you get to the point where everyone else hears it for the first time, you're kind of sick of it because you've been listening to it for so long. And so sometimes right when I put something out, by that time, I'm kind of sick of listening to it. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go. And then that's the coolest part, is then you get to realize what your art does to other people's emotions and how it influences and affects them. And you get all these cool responses. And like I said, sometimes it's not for everybody, which is fine. But when people like it, that's the best feeling ever, knowing that you've been able to touch them in some way, and it makes it all the hard work worth it in the end.
Well, you're showing the people that hard work does pay off, because As I said earlier today, you look like a superstar to me. And I feel that you're going to get your just dues. People are actually going to start listening to your music more because it means something to them, you know?
I hope so.
Some people been in your situation, they've been in your shoes, but you know what? They didn't know about it, which is why we had to bring you up on this show, Let's Chat and Jam, because people need to know your story. Your story is powerful and it needs to be told more. So I suggest that you go on more shows, more podcasts, more interviews, put your story out there because people can relate, especially these young girls out here that are going through the stuff you went through. They need to hear from you because you could save some lives. How many girls are killing themselves left and right by overdosing? But you broke that cycle. You got out of that. By a miracle of God, you broke that cycle. And I can say I'm proud of you. I really am. Because it's hard to say no to drugs. It is. It is. Especially when you're in addiction, which is a sickness. And I'm glad that you are where you are now in life and in mindset. Because you're showing people that it's not where you were, but it's where you're at. Where you're going. That's what it is. Has nothing to do with your past. Everyone has a past. Everyone. People should stop canceling people because people have a past. Everybody has a past. Everybody's done something that you are not proud of and you're hoping that nobody knows about.
Absolutely.
But then all of a sudden somebody gets wind of something you did in the past. They want to throw it in your face. It's ridiculous, man. Do you have any advice for the youngins that are coming up that want to do what you're doing?
Absolutely. I would say the number one lesson I've learned when making art and making music is don't try to be like anybody else. Don't, like, obviously you have your influences, but when it comes to really creating, look deep within yourself and access what makes you you. Your unique experiences, your unique story is the one that you know the best, better than anybody else. And it's the one that you'll be able to express the most authentically. So I would say take all those things that other people might look down on you for, that you might feel judged for, that you might be ashamed by. Take all those things and make art out of them, create something with them, and transform them so that they can become your own powerful tools to use as you continue to grow as an artist. That's the best part about art, is any difficulties that I go through now, anything that comes my way that's a trial or tribulation I have to overcome, I now have the power to make it into something beautiful.
And that's exactly what you're doing. So thank you, Mwgli, for doing what it is that you're doing, which is making beautiful music and putting your life in front of people and being vulnerable. That's amazing. You know, people can teach people how to sing. Like, you can learn how to sing, but no one can teach you how to emote. No one can teach you how to put your feelings into a lyric.
Mm-hmm.
No one can teach you that. It has to be an innate thing inside you. And that's what it is. It's a gift that you have that God has given you to be the voice. And maybe for some folks, be the voice of the voiceless, as CM Punk would say. Do you have any burning desires?
Yes, I have one that has been on my mind recently. Creating the perfect album. Creating the album where every single song is a song that I love and then I'm really proud of. I think my last couple of projects, there was always one song that I wasn't really sure of, that I didn't know if I should include in the project. I want to get to a point where I'm confident in my own art and I'm able to look at every single song on a project and say, yes, this is a banger. This is a song that I love. And yeah, make the perfect album, I guess, would be my burning desire. I don't know if I'll ever accomplish it, but I mean, shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you land among the stars, right?
Well, I believe that you are going to get there to make, well, perfect to you. That's what it has to be. Perfect to you. Because at the end of the day, you got to be proud of what you put out. You got to be proud of the body of work you create. Because if you're not proud of your work, then why would somebody else want to be proud of it?
That's right.
before you can release anything, you got to feel comfortable within yourself. This is what you've done, and you worked hard at this project, because when you give it to the people, you definitely want them to tap in. You definitely want them to tune in and to stay plugged in and want to follow your career. So that's why I suggest to you, before you release your record, make sure you spend time promoting yourself, promoting your story, promoting where you came from and where you're going and where you're at now. Because that's all that matters, is that people see that, yes, you're a human being, and to be human is to err. But, when you believe in God, everything is possible. Yes, because God will take you from where you're at and he'll put you in a better place. But you just got to allow him to do it. But then also you got to do it yourself as well. You got to acknowledge things and make it happen. And that's exactly what you're doing. And I'm proud of you, Mwgli. I really am.
Thank you.
I'm proud of your story. I'm proud of you're strong. You're a strong person, man. Strong woman. And it's amazing to see what strength looks like. She looks like you, and that's so cool. So keep up the great work. Keep up the fight. Keep striving and keep grinding, because I believe in you. And I believe you're going to make it. I believe you're going to do big things in the industry. And I believe there's some Grammys in your future. I really do. Because you sit down with the engineer and the producer and you create your own sound. That's why your music sounds so good the way it does. It's because you are one of the key points of why it sounds that way. You're not going to YouTube and finding a random beat. No, you're going to a producer and say, hey, let's sit down and make a song.
Exactly.
And that's what they love. They love an artist that knows what she's doing. Mm-hmm. And I'm digging the vibes.
Thank you.
Now, thank you for coming through. I really do appreciate your time. America and the world. It is I, MC Andrew Love. This is Let's Chat and Jam. And this is my special guest, Mwgli, by way of Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I'll tell you something, folks. This lady here has what it takes to do big things in the industry. And that's my personal belief. All I ask you to do is tap in to all her music. Wherever platform she's located, that's where you need to be. And I'm telling you something, folks, when you tap into her music, you're going to be proud that you listened to my suggestion. Because you're going to say, damn, MC Andrew Love knows good artists, and he knows talent when he sees it a mile away. Yes, I do. And when I heard Mowgli's music on Loom, I knew then this lady here has got a gift. And her gift needs to be expressed to the world. So here I am. World, I want to introduce you to Mwgli. Mwgli, I want to introduce you to the world. People, you got to enjoy Mwgli because she takes her passion of life and what she's been through, and she brings it to her music. And that's what makes it so special, is that Mwgli is personal with it. And I'm telling you some folks, you can relate to the things Mwgli has been through because some of you's been through it too. So all you got to do is listen to her music, tap into her, and maybe even tap into her on Instagram and ask her, hey, Mwgli, how are you doing today? How are you feeling? Because I'm telling you something, folks, Mwgli will make music for everybody if you just give her a chance. Can you tell the folks where they can find you?
Yes, absolutely. So you can find me on all platforms. Just spell my name, Mwgli. You can follow me on Instagram. It's just _Mwgli. You can find me on YouTube. I've got a lot of music videos, and I've got something new coming out this summer.
Ooh, I can't wait till that comes out this summer. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. I'm going to be the first one in line to get a copy of that joint. Well, since you've been here for the first time, you've now become part of the Let's Chat and Jam fan, which means you don't have to wait for me to say, Mwgli, you want to come to the show? Nah, you can tap into my DMs and say, hey, MC, I got something to promote. I got a song coming out. I got a record coming out. I got a movie I'm in. I got a book that I wrote. It doesn't matter what it is you've done. I want to know about it. So please hit me up. Because when you do, I'm going to go get my calendar. I'm going to pencil you in. And I'm saying, deal, you in the show. Let's go.
Let's go.
Easy it is to be on the show when you're part of the fam. So Mwgli, welcome to the fam.
Yay.
But Mowgli, it's been real and it's been great, but time has run short. I apologize for that, but we will see each other again on another episode. Yes, we will. I want you to stay safe in Greece where you're at locally right now. And then when you get home in Minneapolis, I want you to stay safe there too. And everyone else, I want you to stay safe. And just remember this, when you have a dream, go for your dream, because only you can stop you. And nothing beats a failure but a try. Peace out, folks. Thanks for watching, and if you like what you saw, please subscribe to the channel. Also, like and share the content, as well as hit the notification icon so you don't miss a Conversation with series right here on Let's Chat and Jam.